FR with a swift 2-0, PewQ with a quick 2-0 as well, and both of these guys moving forward and now have found themselves in that finals position. Let's go ahead. It looks like these guys are already set up. We are headed straight to our grand finals.
That I'm player 1 to pick the Grove as a battlefield, so that I'm sure it's much easier to hold. So that's
remember
a tricky choice.
He did know he was playing first because the higher seed decides, and PewQ was our higher seed coming out of Swiss. So I think that's exactly why. So
okay, yeah, that makes much more sense. That part I didn't know. Yeah, so that makes sense. And instantly he will probably go for that Grove actually. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Go
when
for
you're
the
on
Grove.
the play, you're able to make full use of that and go for that Conquer nice and early in order to hold. But a 1-might unit, it's not too crazy to get over, especially considering how strong a Ravenbloom can become, right?
So here's my train of thought. If he has like a Poro or something, you still want to play that one man unit so that you try to conquer with it. If it gets removed, okay, so that destroys everything. But still, if it gets removed, you get the draw at least, and use a Thermo Beam or something like that on a 1-might unit, and then you can. The Poro is safe behind to come and to apply some more pressure on the defense. That would have been an option. Not what happened there. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Perhaps
I'm not
really
sure about
valuing the 2 extra runes you get at the end of your turn. That smells to me that he has plenty of spells to work with on his opposing turn or on his opponent's turn. So just going to be playing the Yordle, drawing 1, and then having 3 runes available to him on his opponent's turn. So this isn't too bad. I think this is looking pretty good for Ahri.
I'm thinking find your center.
Okay.
Right now, or could be like a Firefox, but I mean PewQ. Did we see PewQ play a Firefox?
No,
because last week he was not playing one. That I'm sure about.
I believe that was Prismaticism on.
Yeah, that was Prismaticism. So yeah, I'm really thinking about a find your center right now, which would be really good.
I agree. So the showdown has started. It is a perfect window of opportunity to deploy that find your center if you choose to do so. Looks like he's going to be holding it back. Maybe didn't have it. Perhaps saving it for a double combat trick. This discipline into on guard in case a Kaiser accelerator from that champ zone comes out. I think that would be enough, right? You go to 3 and then 2 more go up to 5. Kaiser would be topped out, so they can't follow up. I mean, that's a lot of resources to expend, but you not only kill the Kaiser, but you also slow them from earning those points. And Kaiser wants to go ahead and close out games fast, especially considering you're up against most likely a late game Ahri.
Yeah, you're totally right, and that's why the Kaiser could not go for it. And like, even if you don't have them, you're putting the pressure on the Kaiser, and you're like, all right, try me, come for it, come, try to get it. And yeah.
Yeah, come and get it if you dare. That's what PewQ's saying. And FR playing it safe, doesn't dare just yet, but goes for the Sprite Mother, able to get that token on the board. 3 for now is enough to overtake the 2, but there is a single rune available for FR. Will that be that Hextech Ray? No, the Ravenbloom falls to the Sprite token. That never feels too good. A Ravenbloom usually able to follow things up with things at least a spell to bring it up to 3 for an even trade, but goes down to the token. Ahri up to 3 points already. PewQ starting strong. Just exactly what Ahri wants to do while she's on the play. Gonna back that up in case... Actually, I think this is smart. I think now, since they didn't get to use any of their spells the previous turn, has the Yordle there just in case it needs a little bit more might to hold that battlefield. Not only do you draw from the Grove, but you also get in that point with it, which is exactly what Ahri is known for. But oh no, your favorite card, Leroy.
I mean, the card. The card would be balanced if it wasn't for Kaisa's Legends, let's be honest.
Yeah, it is 2 power, but Kaiser's legend ability is bonkers sometimes.
That's the one thing that I'm wondering, which is, should you have gone with the token first? Because, so hear me out on the last turn. You go with the token first. I had a combat trick anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, no, my bad. No.
So chooses to throw the Kaiser into Targon's Peak, does get the Conquer point, readying 2 runes at the end of your turn, gets the draw as well. So Kaiser plenty of options, one of those options being the Stupefy on the Yordle. It already had 3 damage from the Falling Star. I wonder if that was a top step Stupefy. He played it from his all the way rightmost card. I didn't see any shuffle, so could have been a top deck Stupefy.
Yeah, sure.
Quite fortunate for him. Goes ahead and triggers that Legion on the Hopeful, getting him out for 2. This is quite a good setup turn. Has the Kaiser on the board. Ahri probably forced to do something like Tasty, but you can't even accelerate it because you're only going to have 7 runes available next turn. So this doesn't look too bad for FR, especially considering he just developed 2 backline units, one being a 4 might as well. So this is pretty good. I think, wait, did he forget the Targon's Peak? He has 2 runes available to him.
Yep, I think he forgot, and if so, it would be too late.
You think so? With these guys gonna rule shark? I mean, you're right. It is the grand finals in a real situation. Yeah. If this was a regional, would you let your opponent ready 2 runes? I don't think so, right?
I don't know. If it's the beginning of the day, I just had a hot chocolate, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you can get them. If I'm in the grand final of a regional, yeah, no, you're not getting those runes. There's no way.
Right.
I want my money.
Oh yeah, especially when I think the grand prize is like $6,000 USD for the Houston regionals. So yeah, people do not want to mess around. But if you made it all the way to the finals, you probably have a good idea what you're gonna do. So Sentry conquering the Grove, bring that up to I believe 4 total points for the Ahri, because she didn't hold, did she? No, she did not.
No, because it was a token. I would love to see the Fair Folk, as you talked about, even if it's not accelerated. When your opponent is only at 2 points, that's a really good way to play it, because it's gonna be there in time. It will score you some points. It will do some damage. It will accelerate your game. So that would have been a really good Faithful turn, in my opinion. This being said, that's still a strong development. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Strong developed board for Ahri, and we're used to so much oftentimes seeing Ahri spend these 7 rune turns not that effectively, but it looks like he had not 1, not 2, but 3 total 2-drop units able to get played out. So yeah, quite a good efficient turn for Ahri that turn. Now, if he follows that up on this next turn with something like Watcher, bringing both of those 4 might units down to 1, that's going to be spelling pretty bad news for the Kaiser player. Goes with the Darius, most likely going to be able to get ready, but you're not going to fully capitalize on conquering one of these battlefields as you already held. And speaking of held, it looks like I forgot to give him a point for that hold they both had. So up to 4 points for the Kaiser player.
Yeah, and now you start to be in a tricky situation for the Ahri, because Kaisa will go up to 6, but now is a really bad Watcher turn because you're not getting back anything.
I couldn't agree more. I think that was FR truly anticipating the Watcher turn. He's like, PewQ, I know how many Watchers you run. You won all 3 in your deck. We saw your finals. We know what Ahri can do. Let's go ahead and play around this Watcher. And even not playing around, I think he's still playing it good because Ahri, they don't have too many spells that reach all the way in the back line. Things like Singularity, maybe if they're running it, but not too many spells.
There
That's
he is. Play. That's a really good play. Could have been a turn to develop the Ahri also. That would not have been bad, but the Faithful is probably even better. You don't care if it gets traded. It's fine. It's fine. Trade that out.
Right, give me the 2 runes, give me the 1 card. It looks like he's still gonna defy the Hex Ray just in order to get more point advantage. Inching closer, because I believe that's gonna take her up to 5 total points. So sitting good, sitting ahead of the point total. But the board definitely favoring Kaiser so far. There's so much might on that on the base so far. But Tasty 6, we can't forget about Tasty. He's going to be a little bit tough. Of course, with Ahri being completely tapped out, all it takes is one readied and accelerated Darius at 7 might should be enough. But I think, as you said, kill it, right? You want that Tasty Faithful to die. So I don't think Ahri's too worried about that. Perhaps already anticipating and playing into it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And now the opponent has to develop to go into you, and so the Watcher will be useful. If you can also manage to trade efficiently, and then I don't know, just cap the 2 boards. The time warp will be available. Kesa has so much pressure to deal with right now. The only thing is that if the Kesa player, if FRDU has time warp, oh no, can't. I saw 10, but it's only 9 runes. My bad.
Were you saying Kaiser coming in with
Kaiser time warp?
Okay.
But yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Decides to play just the retreat. So whether you're going to give me extra runes with the Tasty, or I'm going to force myself to get these extra runes with the retreat on my own Poro, save it for down the line, get that 1 extra rune, get 1 draw. And Darius was taking that point regardless, so I think that was still ideal for Ahri. Does bring that Kaiser up to 5 though, so inching ever closer to that 8 points. So 4 is smelling like a potential cleave. Oh, it's a smoke
That's a smoke screen. Yeah, so that's 3 to 2.
Three to 2, and Ahri thinking about using the final rune that has to only be on guard when there's 1 unit on the battlefield. Oh, it said, wait a second, on the smoke screen defy, so staying strong at the 6 might. And Kaiser, oh, the second smoke screen. As you said, 2 to 3. Kaiser should be taking it down, getting that +1 draw. But look at everything on this def ability is going to trigger for Tasty. 2 runes channeled, 1 card draw. Ahri doesn't mind that too much, does he?
No, you're happy. You wanted that thing to die, but you wanted to make it like as costly as possible, and you did your job here. I'm just wondering if the sentry would have been good there also. Like make it die with it and make it more costly also. I don't know.
Okay, I can see that. Instead deciding to go ahead and develop a Yordle onto the Grove, prioritizing that Raven, making it so much more harder for Ahri to get over the total. I mean, it's 6 might, nothing too high, but of course nothing too low as well. Maybe 1 discipline, what is that, brings you to 4 or 5. So yeah, now it's gonna take a little bit more than just a single discipline, needing 2 spells for just a single Raven Bloom to get over all those. Speaking of Raven Blooms, FR developing her own Raven Bloom in the back line. Darius did conquer Targon's Peak this turn, right? So Targon's Peak does ready 2 runes? I believe so, right? Because he retreated, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he did. By the way, you need to target the 2 runes that you will want to ready when you're conquering. Because if you don't...
Interesting.
Yeah, if you don't show, and if you're like, I want to ready these 2 runes at the end of my turn in officials, the opponents can call the judge on you and can say he did not call the 2 runes to be readied, and you're not getting your runes ready. Then it's even worse than just thinking about.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's this one is a tough one.
It makes sense. It definitely does.
Yeah, because it's like target 2 runes to be ready at the end of your turn, so you just have to follow the card's instructions. But it's not like you're like, oh, it doesn't matter which runes are ready, they're all the same. And actually, yeah.
And it looks like he did the 2 Fury runes, so up to passing it back over to Ahri. Has 2, I thought it was 2 Raven Blooms, but one being a Sentry, but has so many runes to work with, a total of 11. We've seen time and time again those Watchers being hammered down on the base, getting those accelerate abilities. That would be quite impactful at this turn. Gonna be lowering the might of 5 total units, from 5 to 2 on the Darius, from 4 to 1 on everything else. Instead goes for a Sentry, perhaps wanting to see more available information, so trading Sentry to Sentry just for the +1 draw. I don't dislike this play. I think this is good. This tells me he wants to see every available option before committing to a specific play, so I like that play.
Yeah, the Sentry won't change anything. That's why I was saying you could have sent it before. Okay, oh, that's just fishing. Maybe it doesn't have the Watcher. That would be terrible. But maybe that was just to get 1 more point on the Raven Bloom to go fight the Darius afterwards. Yeah, 6 points. You have to retake something.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. It looks like it is going to be a Time Warp as early as just having a Raven Bloom. So you get the +4 or the +1.
So bad.
I agree. Usually we see these Time Warps when Ahri's on a battlefield, really benefiting from getting that additional point, but forcing to get that Time Warp now. Perhaps it's a follow-up Watcher turn here. You still have enough runes for that. You're still at 6. Is
but that means
enough with both of these units? It's gonna be
But the thing is that
close.
you need to top deck the Watcher. Yeah, and I think he top decked it. Yeah. Yeah, he top decked the Watcher. Because else you would have played it before. There's no way that you're not playing the Watcher on turn before. He literally used Time Warp only to draw right now.
It looked like it was quite the series of fortunate events. Top decking, most likely because he did do a little shuffle. He's like, I'm not going to tell my opponent that just came off the top of my deck. But you're right.
Yeah,
because
but you know.
Raven Bloom had 4 total might last turn, so that would have been an ideal Watcher turn. Instead, gonna be eating a Hex Ray to the face. Down it goes to the trash. Watcher still here, accelerated. You most likely want to take it into the Targon's Peak to get 2 back, but I wouldn't hate going into the Grove to take down all those units. That way you don't have to deal with them later on. If you top deck another Watcher, unless there is another one already, but does go for the Darius, like we were saying, probably prioritizing getting those runes back.
Yeah, not only you want to remove the Darius, because the Darius can just go back and be ready, then go for you. Whereas all those other units, they can't. Okay. Poro is good against Watcher because you only lose 1 might and you still get 1 more might.
And it might have been the Ahri player this time for getting the Targon's Peak trigger, but more than likely, since PewQ let Kai'Sa take it, I'm pretty sure Kai'Sa will let Ahri get 2 runes back. It will make a difference. Something like an On Guard or a Discipline able to get played out makes a huge swing of things, because all Kai'Sa needs is a single point. Do they have a Darius? Do they have a Cleave? So many options available, but not too many cards in hand, so perhaps not really too many options to them. We'll see. So they're thinking about it as far as like what kind of sequencing can I do. The cards at the Grove, they don't have any ganking abilities, so they're staying there. If I retreat them, that's the standard move used for the turn. I have to play things with Accelerate or at least a Darius. Or if there is a Time Warp, I would assume a Time Warp would have been slammed down already, so most likely not going to be a Time Warp play. Yeah.
There's only 9 runes. There's
Oh,
only
true,
9
true,
runes.
true. Forgive me. There is only 9.
Yeah, no, I did the same last turn. Don't worry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, starts with the Void Seeker, and it looks like they're targeting the Watcher, so perhaps gonna follow that up with
Defy?
another spell.
Is there a Defy? There's no Defy. Yeah, no, it's over, I think. That's an Execrate. Oh no, that's a Cleave.
Up to 6 total might. Make that 7 with the ability from the Raven Bloom. If there's a Hex Tech Ray, another Cleave, bringing them up to 11 total might. 7 plus 2 is a lonely 9. Of course, there could be a Discipline. The triple Cleave, up to 15 total might. This has to be enough. Double On Guard doesn't get it. 1 Discipline doesn't get there. And Kaiser will be victorious for the game 1 of these grand finals. That plethora of spells you're known to have, Hexray, Void Seekers, Falling Stars, that is the easiest way of dealing with the Ahri. And it looked like FR knew exactly the game plan he wanted to take. Ahri on the play for game 2. Does get that Raven Blue off, so starting strong, about as ideal as you can start for a turn 1.
Yeah, exactly. That's a pretty good start. But right now we're seeing combination of Battlefield that is so good for Ahri, where you got the Aspirant's Claim to give you some more time, and the Dreaming Trick to give you the draw that you need. I would not feel good about that round as a Kai'Sa player. And someone in the chat is asking, was top 4 Annie versus Ahri and Kai'Sa Mirror? And yeah, that was exactly what happened. And Ahri won against Annie, and surprisingly enough, Kai'Sa won the Kai'Sa Mirror match.
Exactly right. FR taking down Riftbound number 1 he went as this tournament. You guys might know him as Dr. Rick Marshall. I believe that's his Discord name or online presence. Either way, throwing it back to the Ahri player, has 4 runes available for the turn. What can they do? I mean, we saw them save runes out because you can't play around like you have Targon's Peak again, because usually you could tap out or play things like Find Your Center and then have 2 more runes at the end of the turn with the Ravenbloom Conquer, but has to be very careful because Ahri has so many combat tricks, so you don't want to make sure you're tapping out too early, especially because you want to protect a unit like. And speak of the devil, it is going to be Find Your Center for 3. Draw 1 and channel 1. So that's not too bad because you do want to get to your later game as early as possible.
Okay. And it's here. Now you're praying for the no Execrate because you want to keep the last card for next turn. I think it was fishing for a card because else you would tend to keep the I swear I'm gonna define your center. You want to you would want to keep it for that turn in case the other Ravenbloom comes to check you, and so that you can have just 1 more might and use it also as a buff for your own Ravenbloom.
It might have not made too much of a difference with the Stupefy lowering the opposing Ravenbloom while increasing its own 3-1. There could be that cheeky On Guard Ahri is known to have, bringing her up to 4 total might, 2 from the spell, 1 from the ability. But Kai'Sa has so many spells of her own, so we'll see. At least they get a draw if they end up going the On Guard route. So it goes for 1, and it looks like it has to be, but instead it's Stupefy, so you won't get the draw. But
now who do you tag? Okay, so you target, you're forcing another card because you could say, okay, I will lose this anyway, so I'm just going to target my own Ravenbloom and go for the 2 draw.
Okay.
For the draw 2. And instead, and see that, like, I would avoid having the cleave and so on. I mean, debatable, but I totally understand the play.
Yeah, definitely a respectable play. You know, could have perhaps anticipated something like a cleave or hexray, so I like what you're saying. Just try to prioritize the card draw, stupefy your own Ravenbloom, gain +2 right away. So yeah, I could have seen it both ways, but in this situation, looks like he decided what he decided. Does let Kai'Sa conquer the Dreaming Tree. Let's see, I think that was a tap. No, it was one cleave. Okay, let's see what they have left. They have a final rune. And it was the tap too. I was about to say, because it was just two, one stupefy, one cleave. Now plays out that legioned up noxious hopeful in order to maybe take down that aspirant climb the next turn.
Yeah, and hopeful being always scary. I mean, 4 mites for 2 runes is terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that card. Alright, Ahri completely tapped out. That is a scary position, but it is not too crazy. Usually you don't want to tap out mid to late game. It's still relatively early. Kai'Sa's just going to be going up to 2 points with that hold and a well-developed base for Ahri. And now,
so no. Okay. Because, yeah, now it's just... you're just hoping that Kai'Sa will not have the Falling Star.
I was scared of that too. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. This is prime opportunity for a falling star, but it might not have it, or she does and just playing it second.
They're fishing. Fishing.
Let's see. Does decide to go it into the aspirant climb. We'll be going up to 3 total points. Do they have the falling star? Because that will be devastating for Ahri. You get rid of the Ravenbloom and the shielded Poro, leaving behind a single Yordle. That stings. That's a huge tempo swing, especially considering the fact how well controlled these battlefields are in Kai'Sa's favor.
There's a world where you actually want to kill the Yordle over the Poro. I mean, that's pretty niche, but the fact that the unit as tank makes it that sometimes the one might you're like it won't matter much, but the tank thing will actually be much more bothering sometimes. So I think in 99% of cases, it helped me so many times, especially when you play Ahri, you want to protect your champion. Let's see what is done right now. Kai'Sa committed every single unit. So that's okay. So it will be faithful, but that would have been a terrifying watcher.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That looked like a perfect opportunity for a watcher, but Tasty Faithful, nothing too bad as well. Able to get accelerated additional cost off, so goes in for 6 total might. And that's just about that's left. Actually, Dreaming Tree only holding with 5 total might. 1 rune, actually 2 runes to work with for Kai'Sa. So do they have the Hextech Ray? Because they can't play anything else unless it's going to be a simple retreat like we've seen before. But it's going to be 2 for the smokescreen. And it will be defied. Exactly what these green legends are known for.
Yeah.
Not letting her get anything off, and that's a huge turn. 3 units down the drain for a single 3-for-1. You love to see it if you're the Ahri player.
And now Ahri will probably go with the Yordle and the Ravenbloom and use the tank of the Yordle to protect the Ravenbloom against the Hopeful.
Okay, I like that play. Now that Kai'Sa's
that's what I would do.
Out.
I don't mind using the Yordle as a sacrifice.
Yeah, because you have to throw in 2 damage into the Yordle. Ravenbloom has 3 right now, so exactly as you said, Leroy, is the game plan that PewQ has in mind. Sending it into the aspirant climb, protecting the Ravenbloom, and of course bringing that point total up to 3. Of course, the battlefield is the aspirant climb, so these guys don't have to go to 8. They have to go all the way to 9 total points, so still 6 points, but kind of in that even point threshold where you can score 2 points, ideally a turn, and you'll make your way up to 9. in 3 turns, but of course that's if everything goes right and they're able to protect everything on the current board. So much easier said than done because there is no runes at the ready for Ahri, so I don't know how they're going to protect the Raven Bloom if something like the Kaiser champion gets deployed, or as we've seen time and time again, those Darius champions as well. So let's see, starting off with 5, is that going to be the champion? It is, and sends it into the Climb's direction.
This being said, I mean, so Raven Bloom gets killed there, but you still have a good hold on the game, and you didn't let go the Dreaming Tree, which is the drawing battlefield. So controlling one or the other can change a lot of things right now. Both players have access to the Stupefy, draw 2 for 1 mana with the battlefield. So yeah.
Also has to maybe perhaps play around things like the smoke screen we saw earlier, but against a Poro might not be the most ideal target, of course. We did see things like Watcher from these art players. Has enough runes, but I just don't think it's the right time. Goes for the champion Ahri. I believe Ahri Alluring. Ahri Alluring didn't decide to play it on the Dreaming Tree. Interesting enough, keeping in the back line, do you think that opened things up for Kaiser going for something like a Falling Star onto it? Or they're perhaps not too worried about it right now?
The thing is, if you don't have a Darius right now to remove the Feyfolk, you want to use the Falling Star on the Feyfolk and not on the Ahri, because you need to get the battlefield control at one point. It's not like if you were a holding legend, and okay, say it's about conquering and not holding. Yeah.
Okay. I was only thinking ahead because next turn you're gonna have 10 total runes. If Ahri makes her way onto the battlefield, and of course you know what PewQ was known for last week, those coveted time warps. If they're able to get one off, that might just be 2 points getting increased on the point total, bringing it up to 5, or I think 6 total. But Watcher from the Kaisa player gets played out, bringing the Tasty down to 3. I don't think you're defending this, are you? Because what do you have? You have 4 total runes. I guess you can. 1 discipline and 1 on guard, but that's about 50% of your current hand sides. Make that, I guess you do get 1 back with this draw, so up to 5.
You get 2 draws
back,
with
of
the
course.
Yeah. So no, actually trading here is really good. It's not, no, that's not a trade. You go back to 6. I forgot the legend.
Yeah.
So yeah, good luck.
Super good defensive maneuver from this Kaiser. You think Watcher with that mighty 7 might, but following things up with a cleave, increasing that might by a total of 3 up to 9. And I think I know what Ahri's cooking. Defy number 2. No go for that cleave.
This being said, this defy matters a lot because that gets you out of time warp range.
That does, very well said. It does bring him out of the time warp range.
Except not, because now the Feyfolk dies.
So true. So you get back to, you're back into the time warp range.
It's a win-win. That's what I love with Ahri. It's a win-win.
Exactly right, a win-win indeed, especially when you're considering the fact that now it's an open battlefield. 1 might unit with a tapped out Kaiser is pretty much an open battlefield. The only benefit Kaiser's getting will be that +1, bringing it up to 6, but you still need 3 total points to bring this to a game 3 or close it out if you're the Kaiser player.
Yeah.
So,
look at that time warp. That's gonna.
You think so? It looks that way to me too.
If it's there, it will go really quickly. I'm not thinking 2 seconds about before using it.
You think Ahri into the Dreaming Tree and then time warp, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Because when your opponent is tapped out, you're just like, okay, that's my free time warp turn. That's when you go up to 7, and then if you get anything, you're good to go. Oh no,
Okay.
fishing for the time warp. Fishing for the
Fishing
time warp.
for it, but still has enough runes. Just played one rune for Find Your
Yeah.
Center. You love to use it for one. Does send in the Ahri,
Oh.
so Leroy, I think you might be onto something. This time warp might be right around the corner. Goes up to a total of 5. If they're able to time warp here, 6 for the hold, 7 for the legend ability, and it is indeed going to recycle 4 runes for time warp. This might get nasty because if you have a follow-up watcher, you get 1. Yeah, you get 1 for Ahri, and then
if you got
one more
another
for
time
the
warp,
hold.
if you got another time warp, it's done. By the
Oh
way.
my goodness.
But yeah, Watcher would do also. Look, he's hovering the case. Like, yeah, you're gonna get it. We all know you're gonna get it. But yeah, usually it's the time warp into either Watcher or Fairfolk is your best turn. This is your go-to turn. So you're at 8.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you backing the... Yeah, okay. In case he retakes both, you've got your Watcher to play, and you want to have another unit to... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, to push forward because you still need to conquer, or at least in this situation, you're trying to just hold 1. Is the 6 might from this Tasty Fatefolk enough? It looks like a discipline getting played out, trying to protect the Poro on the Dreaming Tree, bringing them to 4.
And giving you 2 draws also.
Yeah, extraordinary draw power from this Ahri. Such a good. And keep in mind, guys, that's Kai'Sa's location, right? Or Kai'Sa's
That's what
battlefield. So making full
Remember
use
what
of
I
the
said?
opponent.
Remember what I said at the beginning when I say, yeah, this is just the perfect situation for Ahri, where you've got everything you want. Both battlefields are perfect, and you're just enjoying your time here, chilling.
And you know, with all that card draw that Ahri has displayed, I think...
Yeah, and GG.
Yeah, GG indeed.
Use them when they know that they will go second, and you can just you just use them only when you go second, because those are turn 1s when you go second, but not turn 1 if you're first, because you're only at 2 runes. So yeah.
All
And right now it's gonna be one of them. Yay!
That is right. Deploys the Yordle onto the base. Ravenbloom most likely going into Reaver's Road. That way you could protect it, unless you do have a retreat to utilize that Dreaming Tree ability. But goes simple, straightforward into Reaver's Road. Going to be conquering 1 point. I'll be on top of the point totals this time. I say that, but sometimes I get a little lost in the sauce and forget the points. But Kai'Sa going to be played onto base. No accelerate ability since you didn't have the runes to do so. But speaking of runes, Ahri definitely has a lot to work with this turn. Not as much as he wishes. You know, those late game turns really favor Ahri, but 5 enough to get your legend ability, but I don't think you want to get that off just yet. And I meant the champion unit.
Yeah, I totally see what you mean. No, usually you want to wait a bit more, because you won't use it before. You don't want to use it before the time warp is ready to go. So if you're using the Ahri right now, that means you're not in a good position at all.
Yeah, perhaps just going to develop the board a little bit. Goes with the Raven
that's
Bloom
what you want
directly
to
onto
do.
the base, and just leaves 3 runes available to get certain combat spells off. Something like Discipline or On Guard, as we've seen Ahri so many times over these last couple of days. Last couple rounds, rather. So throwing it back to Kai'Sa. Now that Kai'Sa able to go in, something like a simple cleave could do work. Decides to go with a Hex Ray first. Is that going to be enough, or do we see a spell getting deployed for Ahri?
Can you say discipline?
Yeah, Discipline. On Guard is just going to be a +2, so that could be enough if you just want to tap a single rune. But then you still have 3 damage. Kai'Sa can still trade and clear the board, which never feels good. but it almost seems to me this Kaiser could have a backup Darius. You already played one card. If Darius comes down and is your second card being played this turn, that's a total 7 might coming in readied, being able to go into the Dreaming Tree. So do you discipline? I think that is. Going up to that 5 might total. Does have 3 damage on him, so you only need to do 4 total might to trade evenly and clear the board if you're that Kaisa player. Is that worth it? I mean, or actually you can't, because the Ahri legend ability brings that Kaisa down to 3, no?
Yeah. Right now, yeah, you didn't want to see the discipline. And especially, you will kill the Yodel and not the Raven Bloom because of the tank.
Oh, so true. Yordle, as you said before, such a sneaky powerhouse of a card, tanking any unit. You know, I was playing against a Blitzcrank the other day. I forgot that unit had tank, and that turn went disastrous for me. I completely lost out, my whole strategy out the window. Sometimes you have to learn the lesson the hard way, and that was me definitely learning that lesson the very hard way. But let's see, 5 runes for the Kaisa. What does she want to do? I mean, we talked about it before. Does have things like Darius, but is it the time? Is it the time? Because you're going to be trading evenly, because Darius goes down to 6, 5, 6, 7 for the Dreaming Tree might total. So you're not even going to conquer. I mean, you could Darius trade and then go in with the Kaisa to draw 1. Okay, decides to just back up the Raven Bloom. This is a tricky turn for FR. Okay, I see what he's saying. He's taking the tank out of the way first.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're healing the Raven Bloom by doing this.
Oh, so true. After combat, it is a cleanup phase.
That's a fumble, if I've ever seen one.
I just don't think he's thinking about going into the Dreaming Tree anymore. Just trying to get rid of Yordle in general. Yeah.
I guess, but that's a really good turn for Ahri overall. You got everything you wanted. The opponent tried to attack, you held, you scored, you got your draw through the Dreaming Tree. GG. And you still you got so many runes to work with, and you're progressing slowly toward the time warp. So right now it's not. Yeah, you want to play your champion on the next turn. You want to play it right before you're able to trigger the time warp. And if you, even if like you will go out of time warp,
okay. It looks to me that Ahri has plenty spells to work with on the opponent turn, because just decides to deploy a single Poro, just to try to defend the Dreaming Tree even more and capitalize on the fact that you get the +1 draw. So goes for the Find Your Center to start things off. Going to be ramping 1, drawing 1, and leaving things open like a discipline just in case you need to protect that Dreaming Tree. And like I was just getting to, you do get that 2 draws from that total, from something like a discipline, or at least a single draw from an on guard. So I like this, playing out the Poro, because you know Sprite Mother won't be enough, or Raven Bloom. You're forced to send both of those units onto a single battlefield. But Kaisa does go up to 3 now, so trying to get ahead on that point lead, but doesn't have too much of a lead so far.
Okay. Pick the Poro. Don't go for the Raven Bloom. That's so risky to go for the Raven Bloom.
Oh, the Defy. So didn't have the discipline, but it does get Defy. You still have 4 available runes on this turn. So if you had another one, did he recycle the Fury rune? I didn't get to see, because you still have to recycle even though you got Defied, no?
It tapped Kaisa, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. True. Absolutely.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. And right now you're in the situation that you want to be in with Ahri. But here yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ahri's looking in a good, comfortable position, not getting challenged down on the Dreaming Tree. Has one rune to be scared of, and that one rune could be something like Cleave, but you also have one rune that the Kai'Sa player might be scared of as well. On guard, bring that. Actually, it only goes up +2 because there's 2 units on that battlefield. But goes 1 for the retreat, just for the simple draw too. And I say simple, but that is such an advantage to be able to draw not a single card, but 2 cards, 1 for the spell, 1 for the Dreaming Tree, and you get that Poro to come back into the hand, keeping your hand size nice and healthy for the following turns. And Ravenbloom, you still have 5. Are you choosing to send both of your online units into the Dreaming Tree? Because now Ahri's completely tapped out, and I say that without realizing the fact that Ahri's legend ability would trigger on both of these units. So Sprite Mother goes down to 2, Ravenbloom goes down to 1. That wouldn't even be enough.
Well,
that only goes to 4.
No, because that's no.
Oh, because of the spell, right,
4,
right.
No, that's
it's
straight.
Even, yeah. So it does trade. So I like this from FR. Doing the most he can with what he has available to him. At least gets that 4th point online. Now an even point total for the Kai'Sa player. If they're able to hold or at least continuously conquer each and every turn, they're going to be able to inch their way to that 8th point. Maybe we have ourselves a Kai'Sa champion for today's event. But Ahri trying to not let that go down. He's up to that nice 10 rune total, but no cards on board to even make use of something like a Time Warp. So I don't think he's thinking about that. It looks like it's potentially a Tasty.
Yeah, that would be the perfect turn for Tasty right now. Yep. And the Poro will follow up, most likely.
It would be a nice turn, but keep in mind, if it is the Poro follow-up, that's Ahri completely tapped out of runes. Is that a risk you're willing to take, or do you want to try to get something like a Discipline? Because I don't hate it. You do want Tasty to die, but okay, decides to leave up 2 runes in case something like a Darius tries to come your way. So I can respect that for PewQ. Alright, it is FR's turn. Let's see what he's able to get done. He does get 1 point for the hold for that champion Kai'Sa already on Reaver's row, so up to 5 total points, separating the distance ever so slightly, 3 to 5 so far. And I think they're doing the math, because if you bring in a Darius, the legend ability triggers when you go for the attack. You go down to 6. So you could trade evenly, but we're talking about going against an Ahri player. You know they have the combat tricks. I'm not willing to risk it. Would you send the Yordle too? But that's not even enough, right? Because Yordle goes down by 1 as well. So this is a very tricky turn for FR.
Yeah, you need the Darius Cleave, something like that. And I think 1 Cleave has already been used.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. It's so hard. We've seen so many games, and it's like, trying to remember in which game what was used.
Right. Yeah, so thinking deeply on his turn, what can he get done? He has 1 Yordle. He could backline a Kai'Sa if he chooses to do so, but the Reaver's Road can already do that for him. So decides to go for a potential Watcher turn with the accelerate ability online, so bringing that Tasty Faithful down to 3 with the 6 effective might that the Watcher most likely going to be going into the Dreaming Tree with. I think this might be enough, because a single Discipline is the only thing available to Ahri, because you can't do, I mean, you theoretically could do 2 on guard, right?
Yeah, but I think 1 has already been used, so that would be Difficult, yep. That's why I would have loved to see the Poro, because now if you got the Watcher behind, you could have, yep, you could have retaken both battlefield, but now can't really. Do you have a charm? It's tricky.
We saw in our previous weekly he didn't main board charms, but this is indeed game 3, so he definitely had 3 charms in that sideboard if he's playing the exact same deck he played before. But every single rune available to him, that's a total fooled out rune deck on the board. If there's ever a chance to try to get yourself back into this game, it'll be right now. What can he get done? A Watcher of his own, able to conquer at least one of these battlefields, so goes for potential Watcher, and it is. So Watcher gets played out.
Yeah.
Does give it the additional accelerated cost, goes into the Dreaming Tree. I think this should be enough, even with a Hex Ray. Actually, a Hex Ray would kind of throw a wrench into things.
Yep, so now what do we see? Do we have a Stupefy?
Yeah, so many options. Either Stupefy, On Guard, or Defy, but we've seen 2 Defies already. So On Guard bringing the Ahri's Watcher up to 9 total might should be more than enough, because that's just going to be effectively 7 damage done onto the Ahri's Watcher. So it does go down. Ahri able to get herself up to the 4-point total. But what can they do?
Yeah.
They don't do too much after that. So throwing it back over to FR's turn. If there's another Watcher.
So much to work with. Darius, anything. I think Kaisa is going to grab that win.
I think so, especially considering this free conquer going up to 7 total points. This is pretty much a checkmate situation. 1 more point. Can they get it right here, right now, Leroy? Is there a sequence of events, something like you mentioned, a Darius with the cleave? Does that?
Yeah, Darius Cleave will do it most likely. You send the Yodel with it. You and Stupefy just to make it every single might point that you can grab right now is good. Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, and that's why I would have loved to see the Poro. You're like, okay, my Faithfolk is gonna die, but I will have something to work with next turn.
And there he is, everyone's favorite Fury champion, Darius, coming in, readied and online, going in for 6 total might because of the Ahri legend. So 6 to 6. If this trades, FR could follow that up with the Yordle on the base already. Has 3 runes for something like potentially a cleave, maybe another Ray. It looks like Ahri looking at a discipline, but a Rune Prison. That is nice and cheeky. Rune Prison gonna be stunning Darius, so no damage is gonna be going into the way of Watcher. And we haven't seen a Rune Prison all day long. What a way to bring it out in the grand finals.
I mean, use all the Stupefy that you want. That won't do anything. I mean, that will save the Darius. My bad. That will save the Darius.
It won't conquer as what you meant, I believe. So Darius probably just going to be hitting the base unless that draw from Stupefy drew himself into a potential cleave, and it did not. Darius gets recalled back to base. Now you just have a Yordle, which will only be attacking for a single might. I think this Watcher's holding here, more than likely.
Yeah. I'll go up to 5, but now, still in a bit of a pickle, aren't we?
I think so, right? That backline looking very, very menacing for FR. You have the Kaiser that most likely gets brought back from Reaver's Row. You don't have like Void Seekers of your own. You can't really do physical damage onto these cards. So Kaiser, Darius, and 2 bit smaller units, but enough to make things add up and make a difference. So I think things are looking rather good. Keep in mind though, if you get rid of Reaver's Row from under the Kaiser control, you're forcing Kaiser to conquer both battlefields, which might be tricky. Perhaps Ahri's just thinking about holding down a single battlefield game plan. But of course, how are
Yeah,
you
but
first
you have
taking
to.
Reavers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do this anyway. Oh, that's why. That's how. Okay, that's a good plan.
He's kind of baiting here. He's saying, do you think I have any kind of extra buff spells to buff up my token? Do you want to take the risk? Or do I not even have to use them?
No,
I
I
like
think
this
I back
buff.
up.
I like that
I
bluff.
back. Yeah, yeah. I would back up also as Kaisa. I'm like, I'll get it next time. It's okay. I don't care.
If only PewQ had enough runes available for something like a time warp, but a little bit shy of those runes. I think that's 2, 4, 6, 7. Missing out on quite a few. What can he get done? He has the Watcher still on the Dreaming Tree. He could probably spam out on one of these battlefields, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. There's so much potential might on Kaiser's base. I think this is heavily favoring Kaiser from this position.
Yep. Poro's good. Poro is one of the better cards here. I still have a lot of runes to work with.
Yeah, this is it, guys. This could be all over this very turn. You have things like a Kaiser. You know, I say that, but it's a little trickier. It's definitely a lot to think about for FR because you have to conquer both. If you send Kaiser to Reaver's Row, that could net him 2 draws. One for being at 7, and then one for the Kaiser ability. So that could be a piece of information that he wants to do
remove
first.
The token first, because right now, if you just send Kaisa, it will just trade with the token.
Yeah, you're so right. Unless he has something like that stupid fire or cleave we keep mentioning. But look how many runes already has online too. So these are both scary, scary turns for these players.
Yeah, and they're playing the tournament on the line right now. Because if Ahri can hold this turn, the time warp might be behind.
Yeah, so true. I think she definitely has it. Ahri, or at least PewQ's Ahri, tends to run more than one, possibly all 3 as he ran last week. We didn't see too many. Perhaps he dropped it back down to just 2 time warps. But more often than not, I think he at least has 1 in that hand right now. So I think this is the time. Kaiser has to get it done this turn. Can she do it? Trying to sequence things out in their head. If they have another Darius, that's a big step forward because another 7 total might unit. I think that's going to be Darius coming down. It doesn't get ready, but once you play another... Is that a triple Darius? Oh my goodness. 21 total might. Leroy, I think this is as good as over. I have never seen a triple Darius coming straight to the face of Ahri. If this is one way to take down the champion, it is with the... Oh my goodness. Insanity.
Do you have 2 rune prisons? What do you have in hand? what do you have to work with?
Decides to
Hope it's
throw
good.
1 Darius over to Reaver's Row. So I think he did the math because when you play against Ahri, you always have to subtract 1 might from all your units. So it's going to be a total of 7 versus a 3. So a discipline doesn't do it. Double discipline, what does that get us to? 7. So it does take a double discipline, exhausting all his available runes except a single one, which means he would just have enough for 1 on guard, or perhaps, or we didn't see a retreat from Ahri, but just something like a on guard. So thinking, PQ's like, oh man, why'd you do it to me? Why did you triple Darius? Oh man, that's like a dream come true. I've always wanted to play all 3 on my base, or on the board, period. So it does get the +1 and drew 1 for the sentry trade. I like this, as we said before, getting every piece of information, but it doesn't matter too much because you're already used all your runes. It is the current board. That is all you can work with right now. So 14 on the right, you have 6 on the left, -1 from all of those. So Darius
And just
number
send it.
1.
It's not like you have much choice.
Yeah, just send it, right? So what is that going to be? It's going to be 12 plus 3, bringing up that to 15, and then one more bringing us to 16. So 16 total might is the math the Ahri player has to do. So it currently has 9. What does that take? It's going to be... that's not enough. That's not enough. I think Kaiser solidified her victory in our grand finals. Unless there's a room prison like you were saying, Leroy. Is there such thing as a double room prison on the Darius's? Here we go. It could be a stupefy to start things off for a draw. Oh, this is intense. Oh, keep in mind the shield. So it had 10 total might on the Dreaming Tree. Stupefy,
right,
just to get a little bit more information. Gonna be lowering that. What did I say? Did I say 15? So bringing it down to 14. Oh, wait, what was it? Retreat, and ooh, this is spicy. The Mystic Reversal
is
wow.